Welcome back to the third episode of Realize Your Potential with Mike and Travis. We focused on the first two episodes on pandemic prospering, and we got a really great reception. We actually hit 100 subscribers a week after the first episode, which maybe for those people that got like 1 million subscribers, that ain't a big deal. But for us to go from 8 to 100, man, it just shows the love and support we're getting, cool. And we're really excited about moving towards that 200. And really, once we hit that 200, doing a giveaway. So please, please, please share, like, and subscribe, and share it with everybody else. But let's jump right into episode 3. Episode 3 is going to focus a little bit more on passion. And I know in the last episode of Pandemic Prospering, we talked about passion, prepare, and action. And so now we're going to dive into passion, prepare, and action over the next couple of weeks, with today's focus, like I said, being on passion. So let's talk a little bit about what passion is all about. How do I find passion during the pandemic? Because it seems like a pretty gloomy time. So how the heck do I do that? So Mike, what advice would you give to people who are dealing with these really tough times, but trying to figure out what they're passionate about and just getting in the right mindset for that?
Sure. Again, what we're trying to focus on is really simple action steps that folks can take. And something very simple is going on a 30-minute walk.
Okay.
Going outside, experiencing the world, and get those endorphins going, which then allows your brain to be a little bit more clear and sharp.
Right.
And, so I would say just a basic 30-minute walk.
Yeah, you know what? My wife does that. Like she it's funny. She's like, I just got to get out of here. You know, we got a bunch of people living in our house. So she's like, I just got to get the heck up out of here. And I think it really, when she comes back from her walks, I really see her in a better mindset. So it really helps her. I do think that's a really good idea because life is stressful, you know, regardless of the pandemic, but just life is stressful in general. And really trying to figure out a way to just calm yourself and get outside. I think that's really good feedback for folks. Yeah. I think the next part of that is, okay, now I'm in the right mindset to figure out what I'm passionate about. Because I don't quite know. I don't really know. I think the next step in figuring that out is really identifying the difference between like and passion. And I think sometimes those get confused. And we were talking about this when we were prepping a little bit, but I like video games, right? Like I really like video games. I prefer to do that more than other things. And that's really what I like. It's like I prefer to do that than probably even go on a 30-minute walk, which will be a conversation my wife might have about like me needing to get out a little bit more. But I would prefer to play video games than do other things, right? But I'm not passionate about video games. Passion really comes from, what do I believe in? What kind of, when I put my stake in the ground, boom, this is what Travis is about, right? What are you passionate about? One of my passions is the environment, right? And I wasn't always passionate about it, but as I started to work into it, I really started to understand the impact of climate change and what is it doing to us. And the reason I think it's so important is because it really crosses all economic lines. It crosses all country lines. It crosses all race. It doesn't matter. If we don't come together to figure out climate change, we could be in big trouble, right? If the planet gets too hot, if we don't have enough resources, that could be bad. So it's something that I am extremely passionate about. And so that's my passion. And so then I try to find a way to work inside that passion. What do you think about that as I'm kind of talking about the difference between like and passion? How do you feel, Mike?
Yeah, it's clear to me that the environmental piece is part of your core values and part of your core beliefs. I also think that there's an emotional connection there too that people can hopefully relate to in terms of how they become passionate. And for some people, you know, finding their passion might be a journey, and some people it's instant, you know, in terms of what they're crystal clear about. So I would just add to your point around that emotional connection, and also that when you're looking for your passion, it may be something that you have to sort of nurture and work on to really discover that, oh yeah, this is a passion of mine, and like I'm gonna, move towards it, or yeah, I mean, this is an interest and it's cool. So that's what my reflection
is.
Yeah,
and it's okay to be passionate about multiple things. Like you and I are also passionate about leadership, and we're both passionate about helping other people. That's actually the purpose of this show right now, right? Is so you can be passionate about multiple things, and you can find a way to impact those passions in different ways. But really take that time and identify the difference between like and passion, and really find a way to monetize that. And I think that's the third point, right? Is
foster it.
How do I master it? How do I monetize it? Or if I'm not going to monetize it, how do I make it a part of my everyday life, right? And that's a piece I know a lot of people are struggling with. Is okay, I'm really passionate about this, but I don't know what to do, right? And we'll talk a little bit more about prepare next week in terms of once you identified that. But I think the first step before you go to prepare is really looking at different things online. I know that universities do a really good job of this, of really asking the question of what you like and then directing you into different fields or actions that you can take to be in that field. So even if you graduated, you can use some of those resources just to understand how to potentially either monetize your passion or make that a part of your everyday life, or your everyday journey and everything that you do, right? So really take some time. Yeah. But I mean, the internet is used for a lot of bad stuff, specifically right now. But it's an ugly place. But I think there's also some good that can come out of it, specifically about as it centers around that, right? So, what do you think about that, Mike?
Yeah, I think there's tons of. I like that idea. I also think there's tons of opportunity to continue to connect with those around you that know you, and just asking simple questions like, hey, like, what do you feel like I'm passionate about? And like, that's okay, because again, folks in your life can help you with these blind spots that you might have, and so, and even if they're not aware of it, they may give you insights around what their experience with you is that might nudge you in the direction, or a light bulb might go off or something, but all the while you're trying to stay connected with people because hey, it'll nudge you in a direction where it's like, nah, that is not your passion and this is the reason why, or I can absolutely see how that would fit.
And what I was going to say is that they can also be a resource to helping you find the direction for your passion, right? Like the interesting thing is, as we started this journey, there were a lot of people that knew more about recording than we did, because we didn't know jack poo. You know what I mean? Like,
nothing.
We didn't know anything, right? So we didn't know what mic to buy. We didn't know what cameras to use. I mean, we still don't really know too much, right? But
right.
People around us really gave us some really good advice on how to fulfill our passion, right? So not only just help us with identifying it, but also helped us with, hey, this is like we talked about before. Like my wife was like, hey, your background needs to improve. Like your lighting needs to improve. And we suck. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? But we asked a bunch of people for a lot of advice, right? About just
give us feedback.
Yeah, give us feedback. And in our business, we're getting advice. We're revamping our website, right? Based on advice that we got. So there's so much, like, you're never going to reach a level where you know everything. And specifically when it comes around your passion, to your point, like, you should really have the people around you that you trust and love help you with that insight. So I think that's just an amazing call out, man. Great call out. Great advice.
And be open to feedback, right? Because there's a difference between trying to elicit feedback, but being open to feedback. Like, I feel like those are they can be different.
Yeah, absolutely. Great way to close the show, Mike. Hopefully you took away something today that you can use in your everyday life. That's our focus and that's our goal. Some of you have been asking, why is it only 10 minutes? Man, I wish it was longer. The reality is we want you to be able to take these 10, sometimes 12 minutes. We don't live up to the rules all the time, 13.3 minutes or whatever it is. But we want you to really be able to take these segments, put them into your break at lunch or while you're going back and forth, going between maybe something with your kids or to your job or something like that, where you can just take it in little bites and you can learn from it. And if you want more, just watch it like 4 or 5 times. I mean, it's cool with us. We don't mind, you know. But the reality is we want to make it easy for you to take in and be able to consume it really quickly. So hopefully it helps. Like we said earlier, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. We'd love to hear your comments around your passion this week. So please leave those in the comments. Absolutely. What are you passionate about, and what are you doing to foster that passion? And next week we'll talk about preparing for that and how to be more successful there. So have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.